In today's video, we're going to be looking at our mature anime character and seeing how her glutes are shaped and just overall positioning and balance of everything. So we'll be taking a deeper look into that. So, just like our other ones, we're just going to start with an angle, a pair of hips slightly angled away from us. So I'm going to throw in my hip line there, along with the center line. I want this hip facing us to have more space in between it and the center line than this one over here, just to help with our distancing here. We want to throw these in. I'm keeping these hips a little bit softer because this is a larger character, like so. Move this down a little bit. From there, I'm just going to put in this back line along with a sort of rounded edge with that, with a decently sized belly off the front. And then we want to hook this in a line like that. There we go. Alright, next we just want to drop in some little shapes like this. Have our cutoff line down here. So before I do anything, I'm just going to start with the glutes. So she's got a lot more weight than our other characters, so we really want to give it a nice exaggerated sort of shape here. Keeping it coming down quite low compared to our other ones, because since she's just sitting here relaxing, all of the glute muscle is just going to be kind of hanging down a little bit. So we're keeping a relatively straight line up here, kind of followed with a nice little curve, and then really tuck at the bottom. That's the overall shape that we're looking for. I'm going to do that over here as well. Bring it out just a little bit more, so that way it kind of matches the shape of our other glute here. Like so. Trying to get the size even here. Erase this like that. Then, because this is our pretty thick character here, we're gonna add some really plump thighs here. This, like so, and then for this character we're just not even going to see any gap here, so we're just gonna build this out a little bit because I want it to match the shape of my other glute a bit better, and we'll just barely see this other hip poking out past the glute. So next we'll look at this character walking away from us. So like before, slight angle to our hip line this time, because we want the hip with the leg coming back towards us to be slightly higher than the one going away from us. And we'll just connect our lines here, keeping this soft sort of hip shape, and then just trying to keep this swoop here a little bit lower swoop over here, like so. Next, we will put in our little unmovable shapes in our leg sockets. Put in back this. Connect it with some larger love handles than what we've been doing for our other characters. There we go. Now we will push this leg slightly back towards us, back towards our center line here, with this leg doing the same thing but opposite. So away from us and back into the center line here. From here, again, even though this character has a little bit more fat content than what we've seen before, it's still going to really have an exaggerated pinch over the thigh here. So what I'm going to do is first drop in my large thighs, like so. Then I'm just gonna really exaggerate this pinch, and then it's riding over top of my thigh here. I'm roughly trying to keep it the same size as the pair of glutes that we drew up above. And since this glute is rising up on the leg, it's going to be just above this other glute. Now this time, because this character has a much larger butt, we're going to really bring this glute down, like so. So even though it's still being stretched and pulled, it's going to have quite a large bump over where the actual thigh is located. Something like this. So now we will actually go ahead and put in our line art, and then we'll kind of go over what we've done. So I'm just going to start with the glute here. Again, keeping it relatively straight at the top, tucking it in at the bottom. Just doing that until I get a shape that I like. There we go. I like this to be a little bit straightened out though. Throwing our back. Then I'll throw in a shape like this for this glute. Attach our thighs, and this time I'm just really pudging them out. Like so. Throw in our belly line. Little love handle, and then we'll see just the very top of our hip over there. Then we will trace over this. Just looking for a shape we like, trying to exaggerate the overall pinch of this. There we go. Although I will shrink this down a little. Throw this in. So, our back, our love handles. And this time, this hit will still be visible. Just want to do this. There. Alright, so now we'll just look over what we've done. So, again, we're just keeping that basic shape, a little bit flattened, and do a nice tight curve at the bottom. This a little bit smaller. Here in this relaxed position, the glutes are just going to kind of be hanging down a little bit. And make sure that we can see the tummy here. And the thighs are still going to just connect to this hip bone from this angle. And we really want to keep everything nice and soft looking for our mature character. And then same thing down here. We're really exaggerating this pinching motion of this glute since it is at full contraction, pulling this leg back. And then that is in contrast with the glute that is being stretched away from us, so it's not quite as perky and tight. It's just going to be hanging down a little bit, being pulled away from us. She's got a large enough pair of glutes though that we're really going to still keep a rather exaggerated bump out past even where our thigh is connecting. And then for this little line right here, this is just the inside portion of this glute. We want to keep it relatively even with this glute line, but instead of being shaped like this, it's just going to be shaped either like this or just a little tiny bump like so. But that pretty much does it for this video, and in part 2 we'll look at the same pair of glutes but from seated positions. So I will see you there.